Welcome everyone, here we are, and it's Passion Tide. Now in a way, every good story, be it a biblical story, be it a news story, often just needs three words: trust, truth, and trouble. And interesting how those three are linked together. Take at the minute all of the problems there have been with the vaccine rollout and doubts about the safety of the AstraZeneca vaccine, although those all now seem to have been put straight. But think of the panic that there was by those who should have known better, and then America's accusing Russia of spreading disinformation about vaccines, people cancelling appointments, vaccines going to waste. Trust, truth, and trouble. The government said it's following the science. Don't think the science speaks with one voice. The science does not necessarily agree. The science needs to be interpreted. As somebody said, lies, damn lies, and statistics. Yes, I think following God's will might get us a lot further than actually following the science. Both science and religion need interpretation. And actually room for doubt and also risk. Yeah, we've been told about the risks, and the risks of the coronavirus are far greater than the risk of the vaccine. But we have to weigh these things up. Doubt is not a threat to faith. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. Doubt is simply faith struggling. As the father of the child said when he asked Jesus to heal his epileptic son, "I have faith, but not enough. Help me," in Mark chapter 9. So I think where God is concerned, there must be room for doubt. If there were not, we'd be overwhelmed by God, and our freedom would be taken away, and we know what it's like to be deprived of our freedom. So we have to love God with our heart, yes, but with our mind, with our reason, by thinking it out. The biggest questions of life are questions of faith. And there are no preferences. There are only the options of faith and the interpretations of truth. Jesus, time and time again, draws a contrast, not between faith and doubt, but between faith and fear. Why are you so fearful? Jesus asked. Why is you have no faith? Fear not, only believe, he says. So for Jesus, faith is the opposite of fear. To believe means to have faith is not to be frightened. So therefore faith is confidence. It is trust. It is courage. It's a little bit of backbone in our soul. So Jesus' mission was to conquer fear wherever he found it, to replace it by a life of confidence and trust in God, a rich and full life in place of anxious anxieties or superstitions and selfishness. I have come in order that they might have life and have it in all its fullness. Let's have a little think of that great miracle that Jesus performed before he set his face towards Jerusalem for the last time, which was, of course, John chapter 11, the raising of Lazarus, his friend. Now, Jesus was away when this happened, maybe deliberately away. Mary and Martha have called him to come. Their brother is sick. By the time Jesus gets there, traveling on foot, it's too late. Lazarus is dead and buried. Literally, it's too late. And I honestly think the sisters are disappointed and hurt. They've all the feelings of grief anyway and loss, but they felt Jesus should have been there and Jesus could have done something. Martha, I don't even think Mary can face him, but Martha goes out to meet him when he comes. And before she can even say anything, Jesus says those great words that are read out at every Christian funeral: "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even though he dies, shall live, and whoever lives and believes in me shall never die." Those are verses that are always, at every funeral, always read out. And maybe sometimes I think some things can be too well known and they just go over the head. But what a thing to say, "I am." Person to person, Jesus to Martha, "I am the resurrection and life. Does Martha believe this? Yes, she believes in heaven. She believes in being reunited with God. She believes in a future hope. Yes, 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 yes. But does she believe there and now that Jesus is the resurrection and the life? Were these just words of sympathy, of condolence, such as, and sadly, myself and many other clergy would try and give at a time of tragedy and crisis, just to try to make people feel better? Jesus goes to Lazarus' tomb and says 3 words, Lazarus, come out. And suddenly, trust meets truth. Lazarus comes out. We don't know what he said. We don't have his reactions. We just don't know. We know that the crowd, or the mourners, or the sympathizers, or the family friends who were there, soon went out and went back to Jerusalem and told the Sanhedrin of what had happened. So we now have a wonder-working rabbi who now can raise the dead to life, and trouble is added to trust and to truth. Now so the raising of Lazarus is the background to this Sunday coming, Palm Sunday. Definitely, you can't separate the two. The word has spread. A man that raises people from the dead is coming into Jerusalem, and therefore word has spread. People have come to see him. People have also come to see Lazarus. He'd become a bit of a celebrity as well. People wanted to see him, to touch him, to reach out to him, and that sort of explains the crowd's happy reactions, or laying down their clothes and laying down palm branches for this country rabbi riding into Jerusalem on a rather silly and stupid donkey. But there we go. I suppose the Jewish leaders were rather fearful. They were jealous. They were concerned, because obviously somebody who's a bit of a celebrity that gets too popular, what to do then, indeed. So we do need, I think, a little bit of doubt. Christianity is not an easy option, and Jesus never promised it would be nice and simple for those who believed in him. And of course he said, blessed are those who have seen and believed in his own generation. How much more blessed are we who have not seen him, who've not seen a miracle worked in person. Or maybe we have, but yet we believe on the eyewitness testimony and the gospel accounts written generations ago. So take courage and take cover, because of course Holy Week would only lead to conflict, truth and trouble. And we know that the mood then of Holy Week changed from one of happiness and went away down the crowd. Same crowds on Palm Sunday were chanting a very different thing by the time we got to Good Friday. So no, God sometimes brings comfort. He sometimes brings a challenge. And he asks us to live a life of doubt and risk. So allay your fears. Let's set our face towards Jerusalem, because Jesus is the way and the truth and the life. And yes, he brings trouble, and he still brings trouble into our lives today. Would we have it any other way? Yes, he awakens our conscience. He makes us go places and do things we don't really want to do. Yes. So truth and trust and trouble all seem to meet in the person of Jesus Christ. And I think his followers have to live with those contradictions as well. So we will look forward indeed to celebrating Holy Week, and of course good news, churches can reopen for public worship from Good Friday. So I'd like to see some of you in person on Good Friday, both in Billy and in Derry, and hopefully also on Easter Eve, Holy Saturday, for evening services. And of course it will be Holy Communion for the commemoration of the resurrection on Easter Day in both churches. But I'll give you those details next week. So let's safely, taking all the precautions and all of that, let's hopefully meet together as a congregation next week and in the coming weeks. Rusty will look forward to that, won't you? You may as well say hello to everybody today. Yes. Why did Jesus choose a donkey? Yeah. Yeah, I wonder why. Why did Jesus choose a donkey? A stubborn, awkward, thrat. Stubborn, awkward, thrat as well. Indeed. 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 Maybe the donkey had some idea of the burden, being a beast of burden, the burden that Jesus was going to carry. There's a message, there's a little hidden clue in everything altogether. Well, thank you for your company today, and we'll see you then, all being well, very soon. God bless, keep well, keep safe.